Time for us to have our health talk right here in studio. And joining me, we have Dr. Dindi, who's a consultant physician and also an author. Good morning and thank you for joining us. We also have Kate Kibara, who's a clinical nutritionist and a colon hydrotherapist. Wow, that's a long title. Ladies, thank you for joining us. And well, let me start on a lighter side with two articles. There was one last week which was highlighting that apparently women are becoming more obese as men are becoming thinner. And this, according to that article, was because of kitchen habits, let me call them that. And this is as you're cooking. I mean, I think we've been taught culturally that as you're cooking, you have to check whether the salt is enough. Whether it is thick enough, you know, there's all that. So that tasting could add up. But there was also another article yesterday alluding to the same. And one of the things that, of course, had been highlighted was the use of contraceptives and maybe other things that possibly are uniquely used by women that would affect the metabolism and maybe bring about obesity. So let me start with you, Kate. First of all, is that something that you'd think would quantify to women becoming more obese, just tasting in the kitchen?
Not necessarily, because when we look at weight gain, it's just the imbalance of what you put in and what you put out.
Calories in
yes,
and
calories in and calories out. But basically, if you're going to put in more, I don't think when we cook, we snack too much. Maybe you're not even the one cooking because you're so busy, but we tend to, what we have women is that kind of craving where you find yourself, when if you're cooking, you'll taste a chapo as you're talking or you'll do something. But I don't think it's only the tasting that will add this weight for you. When we look at women in general, and maybe that's where they are deriving these articles from, we already are predisposed to being a little bit bigger. Fat content is higher than in men. This is because of our body structure. We look at our percentage fat is about 20 to 30%. When you have, for men, it's 10% and lower. You have more muscle mass than a woman. So you find generally our body structure may give us that, we are more towards adding...
A tendency towards
adding more weight. But this does not mean that you need to add this weight. But the main factor that actually is making women add weight is our stages. When you start from puberty, by the time you're maybe in primary school, when you get a young adolescent ladies just start getting weight because of the hormones, and this happens naturally. You find after that maybe stages in pregnancy. After that, you're getting into contraceptives, you know, that hormonal imbalance. When your estrogen level is high, of course, when you tip that imbalance through a contraception, through eating unhealthy, you know, there are foods that will trigger your estrogen level to be in balance. You find that you'll start becoming a fat storer instead of becoming a fat burner. It could also be some pills or some medication that you're on. And you find, unfortunately, what we're doing as women, we are in so many, I'll even talk about WhatsApp groups that are all over. This new pill is out there, this new diet is there, start just, you know, we are doing so many things as women.
At the same time.
At the same time, when you compare to a man, men are strict. You will find men snacking, maybe very few that will snack here and there. Maybe they do not even spend a lot of time in the kitchen. Maybe probably this reduces that, according to the article.
According to that article.
Yes,
okay.
But you find men also have a high metabolism because you have more lean muscle than the women, and men won't find themselves into these small groups of doing funny things. Let me take this supplement, let me Google this diet, I'm doing this. I think
the propensity to do that is reduced.
Is reduced than in women.
All right, Dr. Dindi, do you think, first of all, as you cook, do you normally snack? Do you taste? Is that a habit that maybe you can identify with?
Yeah, I do cook. I think the tasting, when it's too much. I mean, you really don't need a full scoop to be able to taste it, but you have enough salt and that kind of thing. But to take us back a little, actually the World Health Program, that is the WHO organization, in the year 2015 released a report that showed that women in Africa, Kenyan women are actually the 9th ranked in obesity. So this is not something...
In the whole of Africa?
Yeah, in the whole of Africa. So we are number 9 in obesity. So this is actually not a new thing. And these are women that are in the age...
Specifically women, not just Kenyans?
Yeah, specifically women. Okay. And these are women in the childbearing age from the ages of 19 to 49. And recently there was another report released by the Ministry of Health showing that women in Mombasa, in Nyeri, Murang'a, and I don't remember which other town, are leading in obesity in the country. And when you look at these women, why are they obese? I have worked in some of these counties, and I know that looking at their diet, it's actually starch dominant. Right. Like at the coast, there's a lot of mahamris, viazi ya karai, mkate wa sinia, all those things that have a lot of carbohydrates and a lot of sugars. When you look at those other counties like Nyeri and Murang'a, it's they consume a lot of potatoes. The waru is predominant. When they do the mokimo, it's mainly, waru with a bit of maize and colored with grains, doesn't have enough vegetables. So the diet is very predominant in starch, and women most of the time are not as active as men. So why are men being perceived as malnourished? I actually do not think they are malnourished. I'm yet to see the full report from the Ministry of Health. They've said that they're going to give more details, but this is a survey that was done, and they've there's a bit of what we are meant to expect. This is because, of course, to be malnourished means a lot of things. Are you getting enough calories from the various food groups? Are you getting enough nutrients from the, the micronutrients, the vitamins, the iron, and all those other things, the minerals? So malnutrition is very broad and has a way that it needs to be defined. But it's not that common in adults. Of course, when we say men are malnourished, do we mean that they're underweight? I actually don't think so. It's just that they're eating less, and because they look leaner, then they are perceived to be malnourished, as opposed to women who are becoming more and more round. The other thing is that what could be causing this obesity? The family planning will probably come into that, but I think that it is overrated.
The use of contraceptives.
It is overrated because progesterone, yes, can cause some degree of weight gain, which is from fluid retention. And this tends to even out in the first 1 to 3 months. Of course, the estrogen in the combined pills or the combined hormonal contraceptives tend to also cause a bit of fat gain. But where does the fat come from? We don't gain weight from air. We gain weight from food. You can't gain weight from that which you do not eat. So if you're on that pill and you're starved, you're not going to gain weight. So we are less active. We are less active. Look at the men, on the streets. You see these men pulling, hand cuts, them mkokoteni, and they get sculpted. You look at their arms, their abs. It's a workout in itself. So it's the amount of activity that's physical that they carry out that actually burns even the calories that they tend to consume.
Absolutely, and maybe just to make it very clear, it does not mean we don't have obese men. We do have some
we
men
do, lots of them.
Obese. Kate, one of the things that makes this health journey complicated is the amount of information that comes in from all sides. You've mentioned WhatsApp groups, and now we are in the age of information where you have Google, you have WhatsApp, you have Telegram, you have all these avenues where you can get information. And it makes it completely difficult for many to know what is a good diet. How do I stay healthy? What are some of the things that I just need to pay attention without necessarily making this my career? Health has become something that we all need to study, literally go to university just to stay fit. So can you break it down for us to just understand what are some of the things that I need to take care of and maybe just concentrate on?
I think keeping healthy and managing that weight, if you want to, and even any other disease, is a matter of simplifying your life. When we look at all that is out there, if you Google a diet, if you Google something, we are tending to rely on quick, easy results. I want to be healthy, and even not necessarily for weight loss. I want to keep healthy, but I can take this drink, or I can take this pill, or I can do this type of food that will actually try to keep me well, but that does not sustain your life, because healthy living in simple terms, and what I'm trying to say is that if you simplify it to an all-round lifestyle where you're exercising, you're active, meaning even if you do not go to the gym, there's some physical activity you're doing. You're taking your 3 main meals in a day and 2 small meals in between, so 5 small frequent meals in a day. And all these foods, the food that you're taking needs to be balanced, meaning you have your protein, you have your carbohydrates, you have your vitamins and minerals, and you have your water, nuts and seeds, the oils and the sugars. When I simplify this, I mean, if you're going to take your proteins, then you look at the lean cuts of meat, the healthiest option, the quality of the meat you're going to take and the quantity. So less portions. We are told about 60 to 80 grams should come from the animal protein. And then you're distributing this throughout the day, where if you're going to take an animal protein at lunchtime, you can substitute this with a vegetable type of protein in the evening. And then from there, you have to take your carbs. I like what she has mentioned, that we are taking so much of the high sugar, high caloric foods. When you find our carbohydrates, we all have white rice, white bread, we have cakes, we have mandazis, we have sugar, the table sugar that we're using. We even have soft drinks that we take throughout without even knowing that soft drink. Even if it's a small bottle, it's still heavy in sugar. Yes.
Sugar that it has.
So all these calories that we do not see, the hidden ones are the ones that we actually see from what we eat, will contribute to this. So when it comes to your carbohydrates, it should be the highest level of your energy should come from this type of food, about 45 to 75%. And it means that if you can substitute, let's assume the only rice you have is the white rice. It is okay, you're going to have that for lunch, but have a diet where you can have a 2-week menu where I'm going to eat my ngwashes today, tomorrow I can take my arrowroots, the other day I can take my whole meal ugali, the other day, you know, you have a variety of these carbohydrates, so you do not tend to take the sugar, the highly processed ones throughout. Then something that really brings us down, or we mess a lot, it's when it comes to our vegetables and fruits. This is where we do not even touch, or we take less of. Yet they should be the highest percentage in your diet. Yes, meaning you should need to take your 4 to 6 portions of fruits and 3 to 5 portions of your vegetables. Every meal you take from, like by now, by the time you're watching this program, you've already taken a fruit. You've already taken some fresh juice, you know, something that will give you the vitamins and minerals. It is something that is also giving fiber, you know, both the soluble and insoluble fiber. Remember, vegetables and fruits are low in calories and they're nutrient-dense. They're actually helping you, but the phytochemicals and the antioxidants are helping protecting that cell. They're helping balancing all these things that you actually need from within. When it comes to your lunch, it's not only the ugali and nyama that you're doing. When you look at the portions and the quality of those two that I had already mentioned, half of your plate should at least, even up to 75%, be the vegetables. So you have your sukuma, if it was a sukuma you're eating, and some live, not cooked food. So you have a salad. You could do even a basic thing like tomato. Yes, the raw foods. You can have tomato, you can have a coriander there, you can have an avocado.
Okay,
You can have,
I want us to take a break and